What is going on? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily. Hope you're having a fantastic day. The Microsoft Surface Duo 2, the second generation of their Duo/folding phone, has ended support officially, basically. It received an update the other day, and October 21st is the official end date, so it won't probably receive another update ever again. And I had such high hopes for these devices when they first were released. They had the Surface Duo 1 and then the Surface Duo 2, and they were just really interesting phones. They had two displays, two full-size displays, or you could use it independently when it was closed. And ultimately, it just wasn't a perfect phone. It had a high price for the most part for a phone, but then the specs inside weren't always the newest specs that you would get at the time that they were released, meaning like there was other phones that had much, a year or two processor newer, and then other things weren't super high on there in terms of charging speeds, and the cameras weren't that great. There was things about that were interesting, being the actual physical form factor and having two displays that were really, really cool. That was like the coolest thing about it, at least in my eyes. And then everything else was a little bit just kind of okay, and maybe even below par to an extent. And even the software experience was kind of clunky. I felt like sometimes it would be cool, but sometimes it wouldn't. And it just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and I could never fully keep it as my, driving phone for every single day. And the folding phones that were out at the time going against it, which are still out to this day, have it be the Samsung Galaxy phones or a regular traditional candy bar phone. Those just seemed better. The software seemed better. The experience was better. But I'm so glad that Microsoft released such a really innovative, interesting product, but no one really bought it at the end of the day. It's interesting because you think about Microsoft and in the the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, and even today, they dominate the PC market. They are the go-to operating system. They still make the Xbox, which is an excellent piece of hardware. They make laptops that are really, really nice. But beyond that, mobile phones, they just never really either entered the market at the right time or released the right product at the right time. But you can't fault them. They tried different things. Windows OS, a decade ago or so, was different. It felt different. It wasn't Android. It wasn't Apple. It felt different. It was different. And then they released this phone, which did run Android, and it was just a little bit too awkward. And it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't the right specs, and it was probably not the right price, and there was probably a lot of things going on against it, but I have to give it to them. It was cool to try, and that's the type of stuff that I love, is like these folding, tri-folding, sliding, whatever it may be. Expanding the surface area of a regular phone to something huge like this was just awesome and amazing. So getting a round of applause from me, but it is sad to see it kind of finally die out software-wise, and you could probably still buy one on eBay. But other than that, I don't think Microsoft's going to come out with another Surface product. Maybe they'll come out with a regular traditional folding phone or something like that, but I don't know. I would like to see them come out with same thing with Sony. Build off your gaming power. The Xbox phone, the PlayStation phone. I know PlayStation had a phone, but build off that. Come up with something that's really great. Not weird. I don't know. That kind of goes against what I said, saying I want these different and weird products, but I want them to make sense and I want them to feel cool to use. But build off that. I think that would be interesting to have something along those lines. The Xbox phone that maybe can be the remote gaming phone for the Xbox library. And PlayStation could do something similar. I don't know. Just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Did you love the Surface Duo? Were you intrigued by it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts on it. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.